Murray Trainer, Chief Inspector. My background is I'm an intensive care paramedic, SCAT trained paramedic and a Chief Inspector with New South Wales Ambulance. I've been on 1, 2, 3, 4 previous deployments, so I'm here as a team leader to manage the medical team here on the AUS02 DART deployment.
Steve Green, intensive care paramedic with New South Wales Ambulance, and I'm part of a special operations unit.
My name is Stuart Smith, I'm a senior firefighter.
Sam Monaghan, leading firefighter from Burwood Fire Station.
Chad Porter, Station Officer.
Ross Webster, Station Officer with Fire and Rescue New South Wales.
Kyle Matheson, Senior Firefighter.
So my name is Mark Zullo, I'm a Senior Firefighter.
My name is David Wrightson, I'm a Senior Firefighter.
My name is Jock Gilmore, I'm a Station Officer, Fire and Rescue New South Wales.
Scott Hanley, I'm a Station Officer.
My name's Natalie Tarrant, I'm a QF and I'm based at Belmont Station up in Newcastle Zone.
Yeah, Senior Firefighter Dan Putelli, or Daniel as my mum would call me.
Corey Nisbet, Senior Firefighter.
Mick Nan, I'm a Station Officer.
Matthew Smith, I'm a Senior Firefighter.
Senior Firefighter Richard Neville.
Robert Walton is my name, I'm a Senior Firey at 228 Station Berkeley Vale.
My name is Greg Rankin and I'm the Deputy Team Leader of the AUS02 deployment.
Current rank is Inspector, Ross Bramage, and at the moment I'm Acting Superintendent of Natural Disaster and Humanitarian.
Darryl Dunbar, Chief Superintendent.
So Timothy Hasiotis, I'm a Superintendent with Fire and Rescue New South Wales.
My name is Capua James Manuel, my service number is 8609 and I'm an Acting Inspector.
My name is Kieran Duncan, I'm a Senior Firefighter at Liverpool Fire Station.
My name's Ona Eilders and I'm a Senior Firefighter. Mark Ellum, I'm a Senior Firefighter.
Damien Holloway and I'm a Station Officer.
My name is Steve Talbot. I'm with Ambulance New South Wales for the Special Operations Unit and I'm an intensive care paramedic.
Peter Jones, Peter Anthony Jones, and my rank is Senior Firefighter.
Stuart Willick, I'm a leading firefighter.
It's Charles Wilkinson, Senior Firefighter.
Yeah, so Jeff Hartley, Senior Firefighter and Rescue Instructor at the ESA.
Ian McDougall and I'm a Senior Firefighter.
My name's Jasmine Sarin, I'm a qualified firefighter at 62 Bankstown.
Developing news out of Turkey and Syria. More than 1,000 people have died after a major earthquake overnight.
In Turkey say the shaking lasted more than a minute as the 7.8 magnitude quake ravaged an area near the border between Turkey and Syria.
So obviously the call went out on part of the Oz Task Force 2 and the call went out to assist Turkey and in the earthquake event, and I was one of 5 paramedics chosen to form the part of the health team.
My background is firefighter with ACT Fire and Rescue. Been USAR for since 2007. So the call came out to come and assist Turkey, then I put my hand up.
Well, the benefits for Turkey obviously were having additional resources on the ground, helping them with, at that point, with recovery or part of recovery. And I think we found that out pretty quickly, just talking to locals, how appreciative they were with us just being there. Especially once they realised how far we came for that task and to help them. As far as Australia goes, I think just the relationship that Australia already had with Turkey, I think could only have been strengthened by us, being there and going there.
Showing the world that Australia cares. I think a lot of people were in denial that Australia would travel so far to come and help a country on the other side of the world, and us being here on the ground just proves that nowhere's too far and Australia's happy to help those that need help.
I think it's there's a lot of things. I think directly we're here to assist the people that have suffered this unbelievable catastrophe. Like, it is staggering to see the destruction out of this 7.8 magnitude quake, and I think that's the main reason we're here. To lend what assistance we can, but it's also to extend a hand to the people here and let them know that they're not on their own.
The camaraderie and the friendships that you get out of such a tight-knit group like this, the things that you see and the things that you go through and the little moments that you have together are just, yeah, it's next level. The benefits that come from that are never ending. The friendships that help you grow through this and the friendships that help you deal with what you've seen that's all the benefits.
We're here to help the Turkish people, primarily. That's what we're here, to go and save lives and to give closure to the families and sort of stuff. What is good for Australia is we're part of the global community and we're good global citizens, and this is just a part of that. More importantly, we're people. We're mums and dads, we're brothers and sisters and fathers and sons and daughters and all that, as are the Turkish people. And this is a way that we can reach out and share the humanitarianism. Right now the Turkish people are hurting, and hopefully what we're doing is just soothing that somewhat.
So I believe is not only obviously our primary role is to look for live victims that are trapped under the rubble. Obviously that is our primary role. However, given the amount of destruction, we have been also assisting in the repatriation of victims from the rubble back to their loved ones, which has been well received by the Turkish people. We're here to assist in the worldwide response to assist Turkish authorities in where at this point in time we're in Antakya, which is one of the major cities that has been greatly affected, and it's a collaborative approach with worldwide heavy USAR teams that have come to assist the Turkish nation in the repatriation of victims and in the effort just to continue to find live victims.
We bring a wide range of skills and capabilities when we deploy to internationally or even nationally. So the skills we have a mixture of rescue technicians. I'm so proud of the work that our rescue technicians done in the field, supported by ambulance, paramedics, medics. We've got engineers, so we're able to assess buildings for their structural integrity. We'll be able to access buildings and then provide medical aid. The whole team, from rescuers to medical personnel to engineers, then supported by government partners. We have DFAT, Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, and then NEMA, National Emergency Management Australia, all here with this coordinated approach to assisting Turkey.
Background is, well, I've been in the fire brigade for 23 years, and I did 10 years in Victoria as a volunteer. I moved up here back in '99. I remember watching them remove Stuart Diver from underneath the collapsed building in Thread Bay there, so I thought I actually want to do that for a job. So this is my second tour of duty now. First one was back in 2011 at Christchurch. So.
Yeah, I suppose it was only yesterday. We were having a bit of a break, and there was a father and a little boy that sat down in front of their old home, and the father was explaining to the little boy that Mum and the sisters won't be back. So, yeah.
There were so many impressions. It was, yeah. Just how overwhelming the whole thing was.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
It's all right. It's okay.
I think the hardest thing for me was even just, I was only in the field for a couple of days, so I wasn't even out there every day. But just to walk away from it at night and leave them with, you know, with what they had to deal with. And we got to go back to our camp with a warm shower, a tent, a bed, sleeping bag. But I find that quite hard, seeing them out there with a campfire, a couple of blankets.
Injustice.
Yeah, it's tough.
The thing I'll remember the rest of my life is the day that was simultaneously horrible and also one of the most rewarding. It involved moving a number of casualties from an area just behind me, and it was a hard day, and the family members that were there were clearly upset and frantic, and I'll remember it not for any grotesque reason, but when we had finished, we completed our task, I could see the relief wash over them, and I could see how grateful they were, and that's something that wasn't expecting, and it definitely gave me a sense of closure for the day, and I went to bed happy that we had been able to do that, and I'll definitely remember that, forever. So yesterday we recovered a family. There was a gentleman on site. He's actually a police officer, a local police officer, and we recovered his wife and two really small children, one sort of in the baby stage. Very tough to see for us. A lot of us have got young families. My kids are a bit older now, but I don't think it sort of ever diminishes, that feeling, seeing someone go through that kind of loss. So one side of us was really happy that we could give him back his family, because there's a lot of people that will never see their family members again. So it was very tough to see the emotion, but yeah, as I said, it made us made it a little bit easier just knowing that he got his family back.
Having the family members there, I think it was day 2, we were working on a site, and we recovered 3 people from the building, and having the family members there, and they were praying as we were taking the bodies off the pile, and then as we laid them down, they all sat down and they had a moment that was really deep, and yeah, I think I'll remember that kind of thing for the rest of my life.
A couple of days ago we got to return a family to a policeman who I assume must have been on duty when the tragedy occurred, because he wasn't home. And so yeah, we got to return his family to him, and that gave us some quite instant gratification in terms of the difference that we could make here, in spite of when we arrived when this disaster occurred. Again, putting myself in his shoes, I know that I would not be able to physically move from the spot, from where his apartment stood, until my family members were returned to me. So that is certainly something that will stay with me for the rest of my life.
The thing that will stay with me is on my first day out on the field, there was a particular site that we retrieved 3 deceased from that site, but the first 2 were 2 teenage sisters, and the family was there to receive them and to sort of witness their grieving, their emotion, and the outpour of emotion, the value that their lives held to them, and for us to be able to assist with that will really stick with me. But probably the bit added to that was that I didn't actually realise until a little bit later, but these girls had a little brother, a little sort of 3 or 4 year old boy who had also they'd lost their parents, but he was now the only one left in the family, and he was there at the site with some extended family, and he had a decent little laceration on his head that hadn't been tended to for a number of days, and myself and the paramedic were able to just to offer some simple assistance to him to clean his wound and dress it, and they were very grateful for that. Something very simple, but just to sort of see how much and to think about how much that boy's been through. He'd been pulled from the rubble himself on apparently day 2 or 3, so he'd been in there and come out alive, and now he was the only one left in his family. So I think that, and being that my first day in the field, that'll certainly stick with me.
So probably one that was you know, less gruesome, but just really struck me as to the impact as to what's happened to the people here was we were just having a little bit of a break, and I saw a woman walking through the street who appeared to be what I thought was injured. I thought she had an injury to her leg because of the way she was hobbling. And then I looked down to see that the only reason she was hobbling was because the shoes she was wearing were clearly not her shoes, but shoes that she'd just been able to get from somewhere, and they were so small that she was able to just push her toes into the shoes and was just treading on the back of the shoe as the heel, which was clearly uncomfortable for her. But that was all she had. Clearly what she was wearing and walking on were her only possessions. So I know that will be something that will stick with me and probably humble me a bit when I get back home.
It's been poignant moments. You know, I've definitely had a cry. I've definitely hugged a few people. You know, it's been confronting. It's been emotional. There've been some moments. I think one of the standouts, well, one of the things that stuck with me, I think, is I was without an interpreter. I was approached by a man on the street who wanted me to help him locate the body of his deceased father. He led me up a laneway of collapsed rubble for about 150 metres to a structure that in my assessment was not safe to enter. The roof was teetering, there'd need a fair bit of debris cleared, and I wasn't able to get to the location where his father was. I marked the site and I completed the form. I did the admin on that site and started the process. He thanked me for what I had done and then handed me a phone, and I answered the phone call, and it was a woman from Sweden who was doing Turkish, interpreting in Turkish for the wife of the deceased, this man's mother. And I suddenly was thrust into the middle of like a very personal point of, you know, a life-changing moment for that family. You know, unexpectedly, you know, I know I'm here to help, but, you know, those moments, you know, that'll stay with me, definitely.
Apart from, you know, the absolute devastation that I have never seen that before. When I went down to the street, there was this bird that was sitting there eating, you know, bread. Then, like, its life just went on, you know. So people's, you know, ability and resilience, you know, will get them through this. It may take years to be able to do that, but they will have the rest of the world there to help them if they need it to be able to do it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stories that we're going to remember. Yeah, definitely a lot of stories I'm going to remember. Some of them, I'm not sure, like the one where we got sort of followed up through the back laneway with a bunch of folks. I don't know if you heard that story, but I think actually there was one of the first days, one of the biggest recovery days we had, and we did this walkout at the end of the day, and the sun was kind of going down, and we were walking these streets and we were pretty lonely, but we walked past this like refugee camp, and we came around the corner and there was these like 5 or 6 little just little kids still with everything that's going on, like the resilience that all the families have shown, but these kids were smiling and laughing. And we gave them a little wave and said hello, and they spoke English back at us. So and they were like, we come around this corner, and I was like, hello, mahaba, saying hello back. And they're like, hello, how are you? And I was just like, it was just this real moment of like, oh my gosh, like, I'm good, how are you? And they were speaking back as well, I'm good. And we just had this little moment around the corner as we were walking out of this town after a day of recovering a bunch of deceased for loved ones that, yeah, it was like it really showed, I think it really gave back to us, like it just reaffirmed how appreciative it was to have us here helping as Australians. So.
Yeah, I don't know the name of the road, we've got a name for it, but it was with Rocco, and there was another from Basir, the blue rescue team from Turkey. His name was Mustafa, and he sat down with us after we'd taken out a person for him, and he told us through the interpreter just how proud they were of the respect we had for the people that were moving, how we didn't let any more dirt go on the person, and they were so happy of the way, the respect we treated their dead, or their deceased, sorry. But, yeah.
I've actually taken a lot of just little mental snapshots while I've been here, good and bad. I'll try and keep a few things to myself, but I love them. I love the people here. They've had nothing, and yet they're still trying to give us water. They're trying to give us snacks. They're trying to give us gifts. They're just so thoughtful, and it's humbling. I mean, we were stoked to come over here and help in the first place, and people keep saying, yeah, well, you're making a difference, but I think a lot of these people have made a difference to us. It's been a great experience.
ongoing concerns of how people will react when they get home, for the families when they get home, because some people can talk about it and just wipe it away and just it's another experience, where others, particularly the younger ones in the team that haven't done a deployment or just haven't been exposed, we're all emergency service workers and we all see death, we all see trauma, we all see a variety of things. We even just see the elderly that are struggling. But I don't think you can describe what's happening here and the gravity of it. And just the one town we're in, they're talking about just completely demolishing it. But they sounded positive. They're going to start, I think one fellow said yesterday, June, they will start rebuilding the whole city in June.
On top of obviously being part of a team, I've been doing a lot of translating and just helping whoever I can get the message across both ways, whether it's Turkish to English or English to Turkish. At times it's been tough. I suppose from my perspective, I understand everything that's being said in the background, which doesn't make it easy because I'm getting those stories. I'm not passing those stories on, but yeah, it's a blessing, but it's also hard.
Team morale's good. You know, obviously we've been exposed to a lot, and we've worked really hard this week. As I said, you know, the scale of this, it's still, even this late in the deployment, it's still very hard to comprehend it. Like every day when we drive in, your head just spins going, this can't be real. But yeah, the team morale's good. Everyone knows why we're here, and even though our taskings are starting to slow down as you know, the local government officials start to organise demolition, everyone's still, yeah, the morale's high. Everyone's still happy to help with whatever we can help with. Wherever we're here, we want to help with whatever it is, and whatever can, you know, assist the local people with disaster assistance. So yeah, the morale's good.
The first thing I'd say about the Turkish people is there's this clear well of resilience that we're noticing, but for me personally, I've been captivated by there's a nobility to their spirit, and a grace with which they grieve and acknowledge others' grief and care for each other and care for small things. Like what stays with me is how they care for their animals, leave food out for their animals. That means something to me, and there's a grace with which I've watched the Turkish people meet this incredible challenge and a dignity and a nobility, and that will stay with me.
I do think it's really important to recognise that for 72 people on this task force, there's 72 families at home who, like us, were given very short notice to kind of drop everything, readjust their lives, and lose one of the team members who's been absent from their family for the last 2 weeks. I know in my family, my wife's taken a huge load. I've got 2 young kids, and I'm sure for all the other families, something similar has gone on. So for every person in the field and on this deployment, we've got a lot of family support that we need to be really thankful for and need to acknowledge their efforts. And of course, coordinating and facilitating this trip from the Department of Foreign Affairs in Canberra and in Fire Rescue New South Wales Operations Centre. There's a lot of people who've contributed to this deployment, who've made our efforts possible. So we hope that what we've done on the ground has made them proud. Travelling to Turkey for an Australian team is a challenging concept. Turkey and Australia have a long and storied history, and it seems like the 2023 earthquake deployment might be the latest chapter in that. And I'm super proud to be part of that chapter. I'm so proud of the way the team's deployed and acted, be characterised by its kindness and empathy and respect for the locals. And I know we've forged new friendship with the Turkish search and rescue teams, and I'm glad that's put Australia's task force in a positive light.
What do you mean by my background? Like where I live, like I'm from New Zealand, that kind of stuff. Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Okay.
What are you going to have to eat when you get home?
Something that's not in the bag.